yes, y'all, and you don't stop. Yes, y'all, and you don't stop. Yes, y'all, and you don't stop. Yes, y'all, and you don't stop.
Alright, yo, welcome to Hart and Sports. It's me, I'm back. PapaJo, sitting there ready to give y'all all of that good talk today. We're gonna hit the playoffs first and foremost because, it's the playoffs. We all NBA fans here. That's what we want to see. We want to see good competition. We want to see great matchups. We want to just really get into the crux of the NBA. And you'll see what I'm talking about later on. Because we're going to hit some hot topics that's been floating around the NBA. But first and foremost, the competition is what we're here for. But yeah, before we even do that, let's talk about that. So, Giannis and the Bucks got beat. Last video we made, we put Giannis in the second round. And we shouldn't have. But at the same time, I mean, all signs pointed towards the so-called best player in the world, even though he's not in the MVP discussion, even though Joel just won it. Congrats, Joel.
He was third.
He was third? Yeah, but he had no legit chance of winning outside of second place votes tallying up.
No, we knew he wasn't.
So, he got bounced first round by 8th seed. Very embarrassing, you would think. But it feels like KD and Steph got more slack for being down 0-2 than Giannis got for getting bounced out the first round.
So go check out my video that I put up.
Oh yeah.
I talk about this at length. It's about a 2-3 minute video.
It's about 5 minutes. You really got into it, yeah.
You know, talking about the after effects of an MVP losing, especially in the first round. Go watch it. I talk about how the game speech that he did at the end of the game. I'm not even going to go into the details because everybody's frustrated after a loss. I get that. But, he lost. And just real quick, the season was a failure. And I'm going to just say that.
I'm going to say that too.
The season was a failure.
Straight
you
up
are
failure.
an MVP team with a loaded squad. And you get bounced in the first round.
And you win one game
with a superstar that isn't even considered a superstar.
Where was Jimmy Butler the All-Star weekend?
Yeah, Jimmy Butler wasn't there. They don't consider him an All-Star. They don't consider him a superstar until it's the playoffs, and then he does something like what he did. Then everybody wants to talk about Jimmy Butler. Outside in the regular season, any other time, Jimmy Butler's his name don't run circles at all. They don't even think about Miami. They don't even think about this. This should have been the opposite. This should have been 4-1 in Milwaukee's favor.
I wish KD might.
Even with Giannis being out, because that's how loaded their team was.
Extremely.
They have all defensive players, and they lost.
I wish KD and LeBron might have gotten put out a 4-1 in the first round. After they won the
MVP. Everybody pray, I understand what he's saying. No, I don't. You're an MVP in this league. You can't.
And then Nike take it and exploit it for money. They make a whole commercial ad out the damn press conference of this dude really trying to downplay failure like it ain't a big deal, invoking Kobe name in your bullshit. I'm sorry for even going there with that, but you gonna put Kobe in this when no. Kobe would have said he failed if he got put out the first round by 8th seed winning one game. So don't come at me with this Kobe stuff about you gotta fail to succeed. Well, you failed.
Yeah, he failed.
You failed, bro.
It was a failure.
Take it on the chin. And the one thing I gotta say before we move on, it ain't a stupid question when you winning all these championships and MVPs, right? They ain't asking you dumb questions then, right? But then when you lose 2 straight years, you gotta answer the tough questions at the podium. Now they dumb questions. No, don't get that pass. Because if KD and LeBron would have ridiculed a media member telling them that their question was dumb, it wouldn't have flew. But y'all let that dude do whatever y'all want because he's nice and he's humble. Nah, bump all that, bro. Take it on the chin, bro. It is what it is. You failed.
Yeah, it was a failure.
Failed. So anyway, so teams that are in the playoffs, Miami and New York.
So Miami moved on, and we're just going to kind of move to this kind of a little quickly. Miami moved on. They stole game 1 in New York.
Very key.
So now they have home court advantage, and they have decided to rest Jimmy, rightfully so, on the next game.
Boss move.
which is because they already got home court.
That's a
So
Miami
Jimmy,
Mafia.
so yeah, that's the right thing to do. Moving on down,
Yeah.
the Cleveland, New York. To me, that was an upset. New York won 4-1, eliminated the very Rough Rider Cleveland Cavaliers. I didn't see that coming, but they were severely outplayed, and they weren't ready for that moment, I guess. Donovan Mitchell has to change his game if he expects to be successful with the Cleveland Cavaliers, because he looked like Jazz Donovan Mitchell, and this is a team that can go far, but I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if guys. I don't really know how the NBA works with telling these players you have to play a certain way. You let these guys get all this money, and then you don't coach them no more. You just like go out there and do you, and then when they lose, I don't get that. But Donovan Mitchell got a lot. He got to change his game in order for that team to take off to the next level. It can. Maybe it will next year. Maybe they'll be like the Sacramento Kings and have that flip that they need or something like that. Maybe they make some trades. I don't think they need a trade. I just think they need to change the way they play.
I agree with your conclusion. I disagree with how you got there.
Okay.
And I feel like with Donovan Mitchell, I don't feel like he needs to change the way he plays per se. I feel like he's the type of player that if you have him on your roster, his size and the way he plays is gonna garner you to build something around him. As much as I love Darius Garland, if he's not going to be aggressive at the second guard position while Donovan has the ball, then one of them has to go. Unfortunately, even though they are both great, even when they're with each other, they're great. But the lack of aggression with Darius Garland down the stretch in the series, I feel like really hurt Donovan when it came to his shot selection. And when you have Jared Allen and Evan Mobley in your paint, this shouldn't happen.
No.
This shouldn't happen.
They should have
So I'm sitting there looking at it, and as much as I hate all things Knicks, but they literally punch y'all on they let Josh Hart come in there I'm gonna get rebounds on y'all. Y'all 7 feet.
No way.
But I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna get boards, bro. No, Josh Hart is an amazing 2-3 guard rebounder for his size. He's multiple double doubles with rebounds in his career, but I just don't feel like Cleveland. They let that. I think that's a year of a development they need to go through. And like I said, if Darius isn't going to be off, he's not going to be aggressive without the ball, then that needs to change.
Let's go into the second round. So.
We're gonna
make a quick prediction. So Miami, New York. Like I said, Miami already stole game 1. And they're gonna play out this ruling season. Now Miami has home court advantage. I guess we should make a little prediction on this. I think we're on the same page on this. I do not believe in New York at all. I was surprised they got the last round. I'ma just keep hating and say they're not getting out the second round. So I'm rolling with Jimmy, averaging 35 points in the postseason. He is literally willing his team on. It's an amazing sight to see.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm rolling on.
I'm rolling with the Heat, but I will say this about the Knicks. Even though I hate on the Knicks constantly, very impressive. They're not just laying down, and when they get beaten this series, it's not gonna be because it was the same old Knicks.
Yeah.
It's gonna be because the Heat had to beat them, because they actually are really, really, really solid, sturdy team. So I'm gonna go Knicks I'm gonna go Heat, and they already stole home court.
I'm gonna say 6.
I'm gonna say 6. Yeah, I'm gonna say 6. They have to bring them back to Miami.
Yeah, I think they're gonna
to
drop
close
one
them out. Yeah,
I think they're gonna drop one in Miami.
I don't even think that. I think they'll go at 3-1. The Knicks will get a last gasp for game 5, and then game 6 they'll win ahead and close them out in Miami.
Okay.
It's gonna be competitive games though.
Yeah,
it's gonna be the most competitive 3-1 you ever seen.
Yeah, I think so.
That's how I feel. We talked about
Philadelphia.
Yeah,
they
in
ran
Brooklyn.
through Brooklyn.
Yeah, like chilly.
And last time we played, Boston and Atlanta was still playing. Trey actually stole a game.
Two, didn't he? Yeah, remember Janet Jackson couldn't perform on Thursday because he stole the second one.
But that was the game 5 that Boston was supposed to close out.
They closed out in 6 though.
They closed out in 6. So
Yeah.
Trey ended up stealing game 5 with a game winner. So they ended up having to go back to Atlanta.
Atlanta for game 6 closed out.
Which could have very well been flipped upside down. But
Oh my
unfortunately,
God.
they didn't come through. So Boston, after dropping some key games, man.
Very key.
They ended up closing out Atlanta. So now we're looking at Philadelphia and Atlanta, and just like New York, Boston, who is considered, supposed to be, going back to the conference finals, especially now that Milwaukee's not there.
Coach, I'm not.
Joel Embiid did not play in game 1, and we saw vintage James Harden in game 1, Philadelphia versus Boston. What did he drop? 40?
Was always there.
45?
Yeah, I'm just very troubled by this narrative.
Yeah, he got into his bag because now he didn't need to defer to Joel Embiid.
And I love what he said about it.
And it's always in his bag. You know what I'm
always
saying?
Been there.
And the greats will have that. The greats will have that. They know when they can turn it on, but they do what they got to do for the team. And
exactly.
He said that.
These are the facts.
Yeah, and so that's what he did. And he beat the hell out of Boston.
Yeah. And he took their soul in the end with that 3.
So now Philadelphia has stolen home court advantage.
We got some thieving teams in the second round.
And Joel Embiid did not play, which means Joel Embiid does not have to play at least for another week. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know about another week, but another game.
They'll let him play. He won't come back to game 3.
That's what I mean. Like, he don't got to play game 2.
Yeah.
When they play game 3, they got a big layoff?
It'll be at least they play it because there's gonna be 2 days in between travel, so it's gonna be around 5 days. 5
they
6
play tomorrow?
Days. They play tomorrow.
So they get 1 game in between.
So they won't play him in game 2. They probably won't play him in game 3 because they already have home court. So if they win game 3, they probably won't play him in game 4. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on
and then
how.
you couple that with the time he missed in the last series.
Right. So they're just gonna give him.
Yeah.
They already have home court. So as long as they keep winning, they don't need to press him to come back because if James Harden can keep doing what he's doing, and it keeps.
And he can though. That's my thing, and that's why I loved his quote because it was like, when I go get 40 or 50, that's not winning basketball. I go get 20 or 11. Oh, he's not the same James Harden. It's always been there, and I know me and you, we see it, and you just do what you got to do.
What
right?
I mean by him doing his thing is that they win. That's what I mean.
Right.
As long as they keep winning, Joel doesn't have.
You don't got to come back.
You don't have to come back
until the conference finals.
Philadelphia is in firm control of the series. I don't like.
That's one game, but I guess you could say firm control because they don't have their star and they still won.
Yeah, you know what I'm
just
saying?
as easily, Boston can come and Gotham smack them in game 2.
They can. I don't see it happening. Boston is too inconsistent for me.
But that's why I said they can do it again.
You know what I'm saying? We talk about superstars and stuff like that, which we can get into this later.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Tatum is in demand for me. I'm sorry. It's Jaylen Brown. And
it's always been JB for me.
And they always put this man in trade talks all the time. To wherever, but
send him to Orlando.
The man who's been the most consistent on the defensive and the offensive side has always been JB. And Tatum is the one who folds.
I love Jason Tatum with all my heart, bro.
I mean, all that Kobe jump tired for me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
if Mario was here, because Mario was supposed to be here, and I was gonna ask him if he remembered this. The draft year for Jaylen Brown, I'm literally sitting there like, this dude from Cal, bro. Hey, if he slide the 6 or whatever the Magic was picking, I'm like, bruh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. We took somebody. I don't know who we. I don't even remember who we took, bruh. I'm so mad. And then when the Celtics on the clock came up, I had a chill in my spine because I knew
You knew it was
I knew what was about to occur. I'm like, they really about to get my guy, bro. And they really snapped. It's always been JB for me since college. Since he was at Cal, it's been JB because he is a dog, bro. And when you couple dog with superstar, you get Russell Westbrook potential production. Not triple-double because he's not that type of player, not the guard type. But when you couple that, you get that type of production. JB with his own team, boy, he go average about 28 and probably 8 or 9 rebounds. And he gonna get you about 5 or 6 assists. Superstar numbers.
Yeah.
Like, come to Orlando. Boss, please send him to Orlando. Please. Him and Paolo? Oh, my God.
All right. Orlando at home. All right, so we're moving on.
Sorry, Cole.
We're moving on. Denver smacked Minnesota. We already kind of went through there. So 4-1, Denver moves on. Phoenix beats LA in some very close and competitive games.
Without their superstars, mind you.
Without, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. But Russell really did very well, as we all know he would. And he talked about, he definitely shaded LA Lakers in his press conferences, which he should have.
He should have.
They really mistreated this man the entire time he was there.
Y'all brought him there to be
the scapegoat. But that's another story. So now we have Denver and Phoenix. I'm going to give the floor to Hart. Do your thing, man.
Well, Phoenix are down 0-2 against the Denver Nuggets. The 2-time MVP, Nikola Jokic, he really showed his tail in Game 2. Yeah. He went in here and said, all right, I'll go ahead and play. They're going to give out the MVP tomorrow, and I know Joel ain't playing, so I want to leave something for y'all in y'all brain real quick. So he pretty much dropped the hammer. They lost by 10. I'm somebody who, as I said in the last round when the Warriors were going through this with the Kings, I don't panic because you got to come back home. You got to go back now. You got to leave the comfortable altitude and the comfortable home confines of Denver, and you got to come on down to the desert where it's hot. Now it's your turn. So now it's KD and Book turn to be like, oh, okay, we at our confines. We going to tie this thing up. They still got to win one in Denver. But that's why I love the playoffs. It's a long series. It could look real bleak. It could look great in a heartbeat. So that's why I love everybody coming for KD. I love all the criticism, rightfully so, because he played like hot garbage last night. He was hot trash. I'm the biggest KD fan in the world. He took too many threes. Go your butt to the mid-range and you 7 foot tall, you shoot over them. Yeah. Be patient. I know you wanted to get the lead up so that when the altitude kicked in, y'all had a little bit of a cushion to deal with. That wasn't gonna work. They are built for that. You're going to have to find a way to beat them, but trying to beat them at their own game and get ahead of them, you're just going to gas yourself and then look like you did in the fourth quarter. Yeah. So I think they were trying something different in Game 2 that they didn't try in Game 1. It didn't work.
Then Chris Paul went down.
Okay, yeah, you add that to the mix. That don't help. When the person who's getting everybody in their sets, making sure the ball goes to where it needs to go. Even if he ain't touching it, he's barking, who is this and who's moving that? And you go up, you come down. He's barking, even though he's going to be doing it from the bench. So, you couple all that together, I still feel like this is a long series.
Yeah, I think it's going to
be. This is going to be a 6-7 game series. And if I'm being honest with you, the game that the Suns might have to end up winning is Game 7 in Denver, which is extremely tough. But they might be in a position where they just that good. And if Chris Paul missed games 3, 4, and 5, and potentially more, hey, listen, injuries are no excuse.
Injuries are part of
they are part of the game. They're part of the playoffs. You got to make sure you have enough depth. And they don't have enough depth, and that's on them. They doing all this on the fly. I'm sure in the offseason, they'll get a better set team to go behind their superstars. But they doing all this on the fly right now. No excuse. Now you down 0-2. You got to come home and 48 minutes, K.
You got to protect home.
48 minutes, Book. You can't sit. You gotta play.
Yep. Absolutely.
You gotta play. There's no more room for error. You can't go down 0-3. Damn sure can't go down 3-1. This desert trip needs to end in 2-2. Because you're not playing with the Clippers without Kawhi. You playing with the joke. And Bubble Murray. But that's pretty much all I got to say. Like, I'm not a delusional fan. I'm well aware that what KD is dealing with the Suns right now is an uphill climb. But at the same time, after 2 games, it's not a time for me to be like, oh, nah. Because I know you got to come back to the desert, and then we'll see what happens.
Yep.
You know?
Absolutely.
But that's pretty much my analysis on it so far. They take them out in the deep waters in the 4th quarter in the altitude, and they drown them. That's what they did the first 2 games. Credit to them.
I agree.
That's why you good on Denver? You good on Denver?
I'm good on Denver. I'm going to hop down to the Memphis and Lakers series.
Okay, cool.
It seemed like it was gonna be a competitive series, even with Ja out. But then I guess Dylan Brooks poked the bear, and
ironic.
And then I guess he lit a fire under
the team.
Yeah.
It wasn't even just LeBron. It was the team.
It was the team. So they just got destroyed in the final games, and
Isaiah Thomas said
they
it
ended up
best.
losing by 40.
Isaiah Thomas said it best.
Yeah, I mean, he said you got to drop 40. They lost by 40 in a closeout game, and then Dylan Brooks lost his job. So we found out today he's not just going to be re-signed, or they're just going to move in a different direction. They are not bringing him back under any circumstances.
There's been some new information on that. Did you hear it?
I heard there's something about was it the trash talk they didn't like, and
no. That's the stuff that came out earlier. Like as recently as like when tip off started, they were talking about they had given Dylan Brooks offer sheet. They had given him extension, and he rejected them.
Oh, he was trying to get paid.
So he was trying to get his money, and now all this played out. He's like, oh no, we good on you now, bro.
Himself and lost.
Yeah. You bet on yourself. You tried to go be the Draymond Green of your team, and you weren't productive like Draymond. Everybody ain't got that bark in them. Like Draymond go bark at everybody, and he go.
But Draymond is also one of the smartest defensive players ever.
And he think he that, bro. That's what I'm saying. He tried to make himself Draymond to go get his bag,
Defense
and it ain't
more,
work.
Defense is, and we're gonna get into it in this series. Defense is about more than just locking up somebody. You know what I'm saying? Defense is a scheme. It produces an overall effect on how you can change a person's shot, change an offensive scheme. All these things matter.
Very much so.
When it comes to defense. Yeah, you may be able to stop one player, but it doesn't matter because it's good defense on one player, but so much more goes into that. You know what I mean? But anyway, they ended up losing.
I think for y'all team, especially defense, is more of a team aspect. I feel like there's space for people like Dylan Brooks who are just one-on-one defense. There's teams for that.
Yeah.
Not very successful teams.
Right.
But there's teams for
That's
that.
what I'm saying. It's levels to this.
Yeah, exactly.
So the Lakers move on, and they will face Golden State, who ended up closing out Sacramento in Game 7. Golden State was handedly defeated in Game 6 at home.
Steph lit the bill.
And Steph called a team meeting the following day, and basically,
beautiful.
Someone who I guess he doesn't speak much to the team. They say he speaks to people individually, but he never really speaks out as far as a general thing to the entire team. But I guess he had time. He had time, and apparently he and Draymond did not like the way they performed, and he took firm control as the leader of this team and commanded the attention of everybody on that team. So he basically told them, if you in your feelings, stay home, because we played like trash and we ain't doing that no more. I will lead you to victory, and you just need to trust me, and we're gonna do what we gotta do. So either you rolling with me or you staying home. But you not. Yeah, I saw that. You're not gonna come in your because a lot of the young players were upset about playing time and
Oh,
et
shut
cetera,
up.
et cetera.
That's
But,
what they mad at?
yeah, a lot of.
Oh.
But this is the thing, you know, none of them were playing well. None of them.
No.
None of them were playing well. Jordan Poole couldn't hit the side of a basket.
Man, Steph should have gave that speech to himself because he the only one that listened.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. None of them could play well. So, and he told them, if you get on that bus, it's a sign that you support my message, and you're gonna put everything you have into this game, whether you play 0 minutes or you play all of the minutes. It doesn't matter. You're gonna put whatever you got to into this game. So they all went, and like she just said, none of them showed up.
None of them.
Nobody showed up except Kevon Looney. But Steph put on a masterpiece performance from start to finish. Steph Curry controlled the pace. There were two fast break points in that entire game. I don't know who got them, but it was only 2 fast break points. Steph controlled that game, and he took the soul out of Sacramento. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that De'Aaron Fox was hurt. They were playing great for the first half. It was only a 2-point game.
Yeah.
The third quarter, he took their soul. In the fourth quarter, he nailed it to the cross.
It was like that meme.
it was so diabolic the way he was laughing. He was playing around. He was doing circus shots. It didn't matter. You know, Clay hit a couple shots finally, but everybody was like one for everything. Steph literally put everybody on his back, and Kevon Looney was the only person that showed up and said, I'm going to get you the ball. If they miss, I'm going to get you the ball, and you going to finish it. Steph ended up closing with a 50-point spicy wing dinner with ranch on the side, 8 rebounds and 6 assists.
Nah, you doing them a misjudge. That was a 50-piece Carolina gold. His hometown. That was a Carolina gold right there.
It was a masterful piece, and he scored the most points ever in a Game 7. He is the only person besides Michael Jordan to score over 40 or more in a Game 7, and he's the only player 30.
That's not true. K had 48.
He won 35.
Oh, you talking about the age of 35?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant a person went over 40.
No.
Okay.
He surpassed Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant had the record for most points in a Game 7. He's the only player to score 40 and up, besides Michael Jordan, and he won. Most of those, the people who held the most points were in a loss.
Yeah.
He's the only person that scored 40 and up and win. He's with Michael Jordan as far as being 35, and he did some other record that didn't make no sense. So kudos, they move on to the second round. They will play the Los Angeles Lakers.
Starts,
I don't know when it's going to be.
Tonight!
Yeah, it starts tonight. The game starts tonight, but I don't know when they go to this. So it starts tonight.
I'm going to get this up quick.
I want to go over the little X's and O's. I mean, there's a lot of trash talk.
You getting X and O's because I got the talk.
Yeah, it's a lot of X and O's. And, you know, Steph versus LeBron, legacy.
Beautiful stuff.
All this stuff, year 20, year 14. Both have 4 rings. Of course, LeBron has more MVPs, whether it's finals or regular season. Everything. It's just gonna be a magnificent series as far as people watching. Steph Curry.
Basketball porn, bro.
Yeah, it's
not even gonna hold you. Like
these great minds are gonna be on full display. I saw a lot of people, Kendrick Perry talking about something. LeBron is gonna be pissed off. I was like, what are you mad for? You know what I'm saying? Like,
They all of everything about them, the Bron fans, everything gotta be mad.
Yeah.
They can't just be happy and watch nothing.
Yeah.
They gotta be mad.
Yeah,
They so angry. It's so funny though.
The key to this series, and I'm gonna be very unbiased in my dissection.
Oh,
The
of course.
The
I don't expect nothing less right now.
you know how I can be.
Yeah.
So the key to this series is Anthony Davis. To me, if they have a clear size advantage against Golden State, which we all can see, but Anthony Davis has to be very consistent, and he hasn't been. Him nor LeBron have been. So they do not have home court advantage. Golden State plays phenomenal at home, despite their Game 6 loss. They play great. The role players play great, which all the role players are excellent shooters. I think we're going to see Kuminga in this series shine. Jordan Poole definitely needs to earn his money. But that's not what I want to talk about. That's not what I want to talk about.
Why you want to talk about Jordan Poole?
The key to this series, let's talk about it on the Lakers side. If Anthony Davis can play dominantly like he did against Memphis, consistently, then they have a legitimate shot of winning this series.
That is very correct.
He can be, if he's dominant on these boards and he scores, they have a legitimate chance of winning. Now, but it has to be Anthony Davis. What I kind of feel like is it won't be Anthony Davis because he plays with a man by the name of LeBron James. And if you think LeBron ain't gonna get his points, you sadly mistaken. They keep saying, "Oh, don't take too many threes." LeBron won't take his threes because this series have already been said. This is LeBron and Steph, so he's gonna try to show himself to do what he got to do to put himself in the game. And that's just how I feel. I feel like, and that's going to throw Anthony Davis off. That's going to take away from the size advantage and all this stuff. So that's on their side.
I don't think they got a size advantage.
They have. So the way I see it, because I did a little X's and O's.
Mm-hmm.
They will have, they have D'Angelo Russell playing. They have Austin Reeves. Jared Vanderbilt will probably be the one sticking Steph, kind of how they had homeboy sticking Steph in the last series.
Right.
The problem is Vanderbilt is a liability on offense. So they're going to have to pick their poison because Draymond is probably going to stick him on defense, which means Draymond is going to leave him wide the hell open to force him to hit a shot. And if he can't, guess what? That leaves Draymond to help on Anthony Davis.
I'm gonna put Draymond on Anthony Davis. You know why? Because what you just said about Anthony Davis, he's inconsistent.
Right.
So you're gonna put Draymond on him immediately. You know why? Because Draymond go not punk him because Anthony Davis from Chicago. We ain't gonna punk Anthony Davis. He strong man, but he wanna play a finesse game, and you gonna play right into Draymond's hands because he's a finesse center. Shaq broke it down really well like a week or so ago. Anthony wanna get to his his spot and shoot over you. You play into Draymond's hands when you don't exploit the fact that Draymond's 6'6", 6'7" on a good day. And I don't think Anthony Davis's repertoire since he's been in L.A. is conducive to him backing you down and putting you in the basket. It's more of a finesse game. He's gotten away from the power.
He might try.
And he tried power against Xavier Tillman, and that didn't go well. He tried backing down a couple people in Memphis. That didn't go well. He can't back people down.
Yeah, Memphis had taller people though. They had a size. They were relatively same.
No, they were missing both their centers. They played a bunch of forwards. That's all they had was forwards.
Yeah, but Anthony Davis is a center size, but he just plays the forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel what you're saying. I feel like what Draymond lacks in height though, he make up for the other shit like that Memphis had. I feel like it's comparable actually. When you say they got a size advantage, like how big is Looney? 6'9", 6'10"?
Looney like 6'10".
But he's a big, broad-shouldered, chested, big
Looney
man.
had hip surgeries, so that's the reason why he moves. Lenny was a guard. Looney was a guard. So yeah, imagine what Kevon Looney was doing in high school.
Oh no, I was about to say his high school mixtape is raw. It's on
Yeah.
YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Kevon Looney high school is raw.
I think they're gonna end up putting, like I said, if they played Vanderbilt, it's gonna be a liability on the defensive end, which allowed Draymond to help in Anthony Davis and LeBron James, which will cause problems for them. I don't know, but then they can sub in Rui Hachimura, you know, and then if they flip that, then that becomes a liability on defense because he's not a great defender. So that could cause problems for them as
But
well.
what if they put Rui on Dre?
Dre gonna shut him down.
No, I'm saying they put Rui on Dre. He ain't gotta play defense that much.
Well, then you leave Steph wide open because who's gonna guard Steph? Austin Reeves. So either way, I think this is in the favor as far as matchups. It goes in the favor of the Warriors because
Definitely.
despite them clouding the paint with the switches that they do, this is gonna be a high pick and roll type series. They're gonna sit in the paint. They're gonna sit out. He's gonna be at half court. They're gonna switch, and then from that point, Steph is gonna cook whoever else.
From the Warriors standpoint, high pick and roll.
Yeah, from the Warriors standpoint, it's gonna be high pick and roll, and that's to get Anthony
With him and Looney.
With him and Looney.
Got it.
And if Anthony Davis sags off, we're gonna see the Celtics series all over again, where you're gonna leave Steph Curry wide open.
It can't be that naive.
People have done it. People been doing it. Even Sacramento did it until a little bit. They sagged off, and they paid for it every single time.
I'm just not willing to believe that that's going to be part of their plan.
I hope. I mean,
I hope you hope they do, but I understand.
You know what I'm
But
saying? So if that's the case, then that brings Anthony Davis. Either way, that brings Anthony Davis out of the paint. And
correct.
if Anthony
Bingo.
Davis comes out of that paint, Kevon Looney is going to the paint. That means that we're going to get multiple opportunities.
Offensive rebounds
yeah.
are on swole.
Yeah. So the matchup though that I'm really looking for, because I think Steph's going to get off, I'm looking for Klay Thompson. Austin Reeves has gotten the better of Klay Thompson in the 3 of the 4 meetings or whatever the case may be. Now I think Klay's better.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
But Austin has performed quite well. But this is the playoffs.
Austin the gamer now.
Austin is a game. So I'm looking forward to that matchup because if Klay can dominate and get scores 20, then that's going to be big. We know Wiggins is going to be on LeBron, which he's going to have help. You know, in that case, Gary Payton, which is the smallest big man in the NBA, he's going to be out there. He's going to disrupt a lot of LeBron's passes and things like that. I said earlier, I think yesterday or the day before, I believe that if LeBron is inconsistent, because points really don't, I'm not looking at points. I'm looking at attempts. I'm looking at efficiency. Because we know Steph Curry is efficient. LeBron James is not the most efficient person, but he'll get you the points, the triple doubles, and all this stuff like that. If LeBron takes a high volume of shots and isn't hitting,
I don't feel like he'll fall in that trap.
but if he does, this it's a wrap. Because
Is that your prediction that he will
I
because
think
of
he
the
will.
Steph versus LeBron narrative?
I think he's going to give us a game doing it.
You know why I don't think that? Because he had every opportunity to give us the LeBron kills Dylan Brooks by himself narrative, and he ain't fall into it.
I don't think he felt it. But this is...
You think he feel this?
I
I feel you. Okay.
Yeah, I think he feels
Yeah,
it.
Steph always been a thorn in his side.
You know what I'm saying? I think he feel it. So it's more personal for him.
Yeah, it could
I
be
think
true.
LeBron is
Could
going to...
be.
I do think he's going to come out aggressive. I do think LeBron is going to come out aggressive.
Which you
But
would think
I
is going to
feel
turn
like-
off AD.
I think he's going to turn off AD, which will give us a chance to win this game. But again, Anthony Davis has to be present. He has to be consistent, and he can't get hurt. Draymond is going to rough him up. Looney plays aggressive and hard. You seen the way Sabonis. You seen the way Sabonis ended that series. Sabonis had a black eye and everything else. It wasn't on purpose.
Oh boy.
But that's just how that's.
That boy sitting on that bench after down 20 with that black eye.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how it goes. So I think that every way you look at it, outside of LeBron and AD, the Lakers don't have enough to overcome the Warriors. You know, especially with home court advantage. Now, if Lakers steal one, Which I think that don't even matter. But then, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Warriors got plenty of fans in LA. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think
this Warrior train keep ride.
But I just don't see them having the weapons to score with them. You know, if the Warriors can control the tempo and keep them from fast break, because, you know, everybody knows when they fast break, LeBron is in the sky. You know, he's in the sky. But if they can control that narrative, if Looney can get on them boards, that's going to control the tempo. That's going to slow it down. And again, mismatches and stuff like that. I don't think D'Lo is going to get off every game. I think D'Lo is going to have a really good one game. I think he's going to have one really good game. He's going to score about 25, 30. I think they're going to allow him to get off a little bit because they're not going to put Steph on him that much. But I don't know. I just don't see the Lakers winning this series. I think Golden State is going to win it in 5 or 6. You know, and I'm not even going. We're not even going to get into the legacy stuff. We'll
yeah, I was just gonna say, like, we gotta to give that conversation the respect it deserves. I think we gotta sit down in a broader context and talk about all the other variables and players involved in the top 5, top 10 NBA of all time, like conversation. Yeah. We can't sit here and rush that conversation just because we talking about Golden State. So we should just save that for a broader conversation and give it the respect it deserves. Because they playing with stuff name and we can't sit there and just act like it ain't happening. Yeah. So we'll get into that at a different date and time.
So I got Golden State in about 6.
I got Golden State in 3. But I think Golden State is going to win this series based upon 2 of the things you talked about. AD's inconsistency, which this is not a series you can afford to be inconsistent because Looney's not going to be. He had one bad game last series, game 6, and I think Looney with Draymond down there, he can't afford to be inconsistent because everybody else they put with AD is an interchangeable player. Right? Rui Hachimura, Vanderbilt, anybody they play next to AD is going to be a complimentary piece. When Golden State is solid down there. They've been playing with each other. They know what each other going to do defensively and offensively.
Is slowly still improving.
Exactly. He getting his legs back.
You know,
his legs back.
You saw him try to do that putback dunk.
Yeah.
You ain't seen that.
He tried to end it all.
Yeah.
He tried to end it all in that Sacramento game.
If he did that one time, that means his legs are back.
Yeah.
And it's gonna keep getting. He gonna jump higher higher and higher.
I just really feel like Golden State, in this particular series, has the advantage at every position because they have talented guards in LA, D. Russell and all them. Ain't nobody checking Steph.
I just don't see. There's nobody.
Nobody's chasing Clay.
Yeah.
Nobody's checking Jordan. Jordan might get off this series because there's nobody.
There's nobody. You can't guard all 3. They have nobody to guard all 3.
This is going to be an offensive display. That's why I initially joked and said 3 because I wouldn't be shocked if Golden State won in 4-1 or 4-0.
Yeah, it's
because of the firepower that the Lakers don't have an answer for.
They don't have anybody to guard all 3 of them.
Ja got to where he wanted when he was there.
Yeah. And that was him by himself.
Exactly. So I mean, I'm not gonna belabor the point. Even you're not a Steve Kerr fan, but ain't no way you gonna say that Steve Kerr and the people he got on his coaching staff are worse than what Darvin Ham and them been doing.
Caveat: Steve Kerr coached his behind off in Game 7.
Give him his credit on that one. He controlled the tempo with stuff.
Him
and stuff did that.
Steve Kerr critic, you hear me?
Oh yeah.
Because he'll sit on his behind and not do nothing, and they getting their butt waxed.
Facts.
Game 7, Steve Kerr coached and put on the display that, Mike, I was the head coach.
Right. For a reason.
There's a reason.
For a reason. There's levels to this.
And he really, everything. He didn't even call timeouts.
He called breaks.
He called breaks. They took advantage of the TV breaks and when Sacramento needed it. And he told Steph, I'll call a timeout when you need a break.
When you need a break. We ain't taking you out too much this game. But
he said, it was like
breaks.
the 4th quarter. He was like, I got 4 timeouts. He said, I might call one to get you some rest.
Let me tell you something. Watching Steve Kerr coach that game, it made me remember he played for Popovich and Phil Jackson.
Right.
When I watched him on the sidelines, I'm like, usually he got the Phil Jackson demeanor where he don't do too much. I'm gonna let them do that, and he's just cool. Steve was walking. Steve was
walking
hey, Steve,
and directing traffic.
He was Popovich in Game 7. Like, yo,
he was
hey,
directing.
slow down, stop.
Yeah.
No, don't go at their speed.
He controlled that entire game, and he gave directions from start to finish.
You
and
can't
everybody,
deny it.
yeah, and everybody just fell in line. Even though Golden State didn't shoot good, defensively they were awesome. Looney showed up. They did their job. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the threats that were there in the previous games, they weren't there. Malik Monk didn't have a good game. Sabonis ain't have a good game yet. They shut down. They didn't even play. Was it the Miller? What was his name? They substituted.
Oh no, they played him a lot. I think towards the fourth, it got too dicey to put Murray in.
Yeah, they took out Murray. The other dude who was giving Steph problems, they set.
Oh, down to Davian, yeah, Mitchell.
He got subbed out because the other guy was hitting shots. Miller, I think his name.
Davis was hitting shots, and they took Mitchell out. Yeah, Davian Mitchell. Yeah,
which rightfully so. But even Davis was like looking at Steph in awe. One of the times he touched Steph on the head was like, well, dang.
Like, what do I do?
Like, what am I supposed to do?
Nothing he could do, but watch the show.
Yeah, and that's what he did. Like, at the end of the game, he was like, bro, you the truth. Like, there's nothing I can say.
You know what? It's always good, and I was thinking this when I was watching it. It's always good when the role players step up. Like, Buddy was hitting a lot of threes, Davis from the Kings. But when you do that and you take away shots from your people you need to close, they don't have the same rhythm they would have in the fourth. Mm-hmm. So while it's good, you producing off the bench and you fearless and you letting it fly so much, you taking away shots from your closers who need to be in a certain rhythm when that fourth quarter hit. And I feel like it took them out of their natural game plan because Davis never shoots that much.
Yeah, it seemed like Fox was getting warmed up for the fourth quarter. You know, because he started hitting some shots.
I mean, the other dudes. You know, Fox is going to get his.
What other dudes we talking about?
I'm talking about Monk, Herter, the people that he's going to need to.
Monk wasn't even aggressive.
But I'm saying, though, do you feel like the role players, because it wasn't just Davis. Murray was aggressive with his shot, too. I feel like them in the meaty part of the game, the second and third, when they were shooting those shots, Herter and those dudes who Fox was going to have to rely on in the end should have been getting more acclimated in the game because in the fourth you was going to need those dudes to help you, and their experience and lack of experience really showed.
Yeah,
in game 7.
It did because even Mike Brown was like they wanted more. I mean, you looked at it. Malik Monk wasn't aggressive. Malik Monk was driving. He got a lot of his points from driving and falling all in the air and getting a lot of fouls. He was going to the line.
Ironically, he looked old.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then he poked the bear.
That's what I mean. You say that, and then you look old.
And that was a point of emphasis that Dre and Steph was talking about. Like, you really finna, and look, don't poke Steph.
That wasn't a poke, bruh. Like, I watched the press conference. He literally was just saying, I know y'all gonna take anything and make it everything.
No.
I get
but
it.
you know Steph takes stuff personally.
I know he King Petty. I know he King Petty. But what I'm saying is the difference between insanely competitive people like Steph and Michael Jordan making up something that someone's coming after them.
Yeah.
And somebody actually coming after them. He wasn't coming for them in that press conference. Yeah. But
that's how
you say anything and asinine people like Steph and Mike, they gonna take it.
But it worked.
50 ball.
Yeah. Because I guess they talked about it. He was like, he really called us old. And then Steph just went out there and dropped 50.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Dre knew what time it was. Dre on his podcast said, man, I gave Steph the ball, set a screen, and I got out of the way. He was like, because we already knew what time it was.
And as he should. And I don't want to make this the Warriors podcast or nothing, but we had to make sure to get that on out of there and set the stage because we're going to have one of the most, I feel like it's going to be a very epic series.
Yeah, it is.
And I feel like all the stuff we're talking about goes into it. It goes into it because we got so many people in this. Well, not so many. We got two historical figures with such great legacies and past that we can draw from while we trying to formulate our opinion on this series.
Yeah.
So it's just so much. But anyway, I mean, we done hit every series so far going to the second round. We talked about the major points that we need to hit. We do need to get together and have that talk about legacy.
We need to,
because it's a lot of reckless stuff being said out, and
man,
we gotta put our own little spin on it just for our own mental sanity.
Yeah.
Put it on wax, boy. How forever and consistently be broke. Break it down.
Yeah, we're gonna put some stuff into common sense here.
Yeah, common.
The next time we come together, we talk to y'all.
Yeah,
it's really gonna be we're gonna expose the hypocrisy.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna talk about what really makes sense, as far as narrative goes and things like that. You know, because
there's a lot of fabrication out here. It's got us,
So we're really gonna dive into this LeBron and Steph thing, and that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's the epicenter of all of the talk, because right now the only two current people that you can talk about legacy with are those two players. Like KD is not in the whole legacy discussion anymore. He's down a tier from that since injury, and then the Brooklyn fiasco. He's not in that tier of people we talking about legacy with so much. But these two greats are playing against each other, and we got to talk about it while it's here.
But I will say this: if he whacks the Nuggets without Chris Paul, we got a conversation. And I don't care.
You got to win them one.
I don't care if they don't talk about it.
Oh, we gonna talk about it.
But if he whacks Denver before Chris Paul get back, we got a conversation. And I know he got to win a chip.
He got to.
I know he got to win a chip.
He got to.
But if we gonna start the conversation.
Yeah, we gotta put KD into the chat if you can get Jokic up out of here without Chris. Yeah, KD go into the chat, because then it's gonna be K versus, I'm gonna say it, Steph.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but definitely we gonna get into that next time. A lot of legacy talk. Go hit the playoffs and all of that. Hopefully, well, I don't know. We might have somebody else. We'll see. But if we don't, it'll be us, PapaJo, per usual. This is your Hart signing off. We'll see y'all later.
Yes, y'all, and you don't stop.